so I decided to create this routine because I've been slacking a lot on my exercises, and I decided to do something for myself. Say hello to Ali. Come, here. Alright, so now I'm actually going back to the point where I wanted to continue to do my exercises, and what I wanted to do is create something here in my home gym. I know a lot of you don't have access to the gym, and but when you go back, maybe this would be helpful. So in this first video, I'm just going to show what I'm doing in terms of exercises for each muscle. And if you're not familiar at all with training with weights, then this is going to be a little bit new to you, but it's going to explain, you know, the three basic breakdowns of muscle, which is legs, back, and chest. For those who are familiar, this is like, you know, cookies for you. So I'm just going to break down in this video what exercises I'm using for each muscle, and I'll explain why too. So starting with legs, because legs are your most potent and more stronger muscles in the body. So low bar squat is what I'm going for as my main squat for two reasons. One is because it's the most powerful I have. It's the one that I can lift the most weight, and it's going to make sense in the next videos as I explain which progression scheme I'm using. But for now, suffice to say that low bar squat is my go-to squat movement for sure. And this is going to target my quads and my glutes very heavy, or heavily. I'm not that strong right now. I actually lost a lot of strength during my slacking periods, because we all go through that. And that's going to be my main squat. Then I'm going to go with front squats, which to me have been creating this nice pump and burn on my quads, and it really depends on how I do. I could do it, you know, with the barbell, even though my form sucks, and that has to do with my wrist, which has an issue, and I can't really get into this position, so I have to go with the cross arm position, and I really don't like that. So what I do is that I alternate, and when we talk about reps and sets, I'm going to explain like how I'll work out the reps there, but I can use dumbbells too. And I can use, you know, it's kind of uncomfortable, but it's better than the bar for me. And that's my go-to for quad movement for sure. And again, quads, and I put T here for tears because they do really hurt. And that burning, it's probably the worst. If you ever done like leg extensions and, you know, at the end, like at the 12th or the 10th or the 15th, depending on how many reps you're doing, it burns. Front squats do that to me. So next is lunges. Lunges are awesome for me because they allow me to create that extra movement and also work out my quads and my glutes. They allow me to go into a different depth when I go on each stride. I need to balance myself, and I like to use dumbbells, so that's why I'm using lunges. And it's an easy exercise to do. You can do it without, you know, any weight, of course. Just go for a walk with the lunges. So that's the third exercise I'm using for legs. Next, I have sumo deadlift, and there's a big reason for that. When I was deadlifting before, I used to have conventional grip and width and everything, and it was putting a lot of strain in my lower back for whatever reason. I've always had issues with my lower back, and I stopped deadlifting. And when I started doing it again, I decided to do sumo deadlift. And that position, because of my legs being open, I can now, you know, have less strain on my back, and it puts a little bit more work on my quads. And that's a little variation there for you if you have any low back problems. I've done it with a couple of clients and it works marvelous. So sumo deadlift, definitely. And then sumo deadlift is going to work my hamstrings and my glutes for sure. And then RDLs, Romanian deadlifts, which is, I use, you know, my conventional because I have no issues picking it up from the floor, and it's just, you know, constant movement. And because I don't use that much weight, just allows me to bring that freedom to the movement of my my posterior chain, and of course my hamstrings take a really good hit there. So that's what I'm doing for legs, the exercises. Then for back, I have RDL again here. Not that I'm doing it twice, I'm doing it once, but I need to count that as an exercise for my back. All right, so RDLs really hit my back, especially in my upper back. It feels like it hits those little muscles that you never hit when you do horizontal or vertical pulls. So to me, it's an exercise for my back for sure. And that's why you will see that I have only like 3 exercises, and we'll get into this right now. But RDLs for sure hit like these little in between the scapula. Those muscles for me, phenomenal. So that's RDL, I put it first there. Rows is my go-to, obviously, for horizontal pull. So easy. I can do it with dumbbells, which is usually what I do. I don't like to do it with the barbell when I'm doing these many exercises with a barbell because I'm already a little taxed on my back, on my lower back actually. So bending over like that, not so good for me. And that's it. That's for horizontal pulls. Then I got chin-ups and pull-ups. Why chin-ups and pull-ups? For those who don't know the difference, chin-ups for me is shoulder width apart grip, supinated grip, or hands facing you. And what you'll do is just pull yourself this way. It's the easiest, and also with chin-ups you get the most strength because you're using a lot your bicep and like everything is just working. This is the best and just your strongest, as I always say. And then pull-ups are for me a wide grip and a pronated grip, which is hands facing forward this way. And I'll just do pull-ups. It's a little harder. I don't use my biceps too much, but it does bring my lat a little bit more. Not too crazy. It's not like if you want to develop lats, avoid chin-ups. No. So that's basically it. Those are my 2 verticals. This is my horizontal, and that's it. Then I have these 2 because low bar squat, as is here, and the sumo deadlift is here. They do work my back. My back is holding this barbell, up here and down here, and I put it there just for consideration because when you are programming your exercises, you need to know which muscles you're working with each exercise. And try not to overlap too many because then, especially your back's going to take, a big toll. And working with barbells for sure. So that's it for my back. My chest is going to have a bench press, which is the classic for your pecs. And I will probably have a variation too, where I go wide grip just to work my chest more because my triceps tend to be overpowered in the bench press and they take over. They really do, and my chest is it's kind of lagging. So I might go with a wide grip, and that would probably be seen in a couple of weeks, depending on how much I progress with it. And we'll get into progression schemes and everything in the next videos. So that's for the bench press. It's the best, for me because it does work. My chest, my tricep, my front shoulder, and it's my most powerful movement for chest, of course. And I love seeing progression there. Then incline dumbbell press. Why dumbbells? Because I'm already working with barbell and I want to have the freedom of dumbbells, so I go deeper on the negative and feel a bigger stretch. Now the catch here is that you can't lift as much weight as you would do on an incline press, but that's all fine. So I love doing incline double presses for that, and I'll continue to do it. There's no reason not to include it, and that's it. Mostly incline for your clavicular pec. So this side of the chest, you get it worked out a lot more as opposed to on the bench press where you don't really hit it well. So that's why I have them 2 together paired. Then I have dips, which to me are just mostly like a movement. It's not so much for the chest, even though you kind of activate it. And I do get a very good pump in my chest and my triceps. So it's like a little extra. It's very light. I go for reps of 15, but I'm getting ahead of myself. And I actually like dips. And weight, I have to put some weight on it too because like I said, my triceps are very overpowered. And dips has to do a lot with triceps. So I put on some weight, and that's how I worked it out. Finally, overhead press is like a everything movement, and I love doing overhead presses because they're really strong. Like you can go really heavy, but not so heavy that you hurt your shoulders. Don't do that. But overhead presses actually activate a little bit of your chest, your tricep, your shoulder, and just by doing it standing without that, push press that some people do, you're gonna feel everything. Like on the last reps, if you ever done an overhead press, you're gonna feel that your glutes are activating, your calves, everything, because you're standing and you're pushing, you're trying to push with your whole body. So I love doing overhead press for that. That's it. So this video is only to explain which exercises I'm using for my legs, my back's only one back, and chest. So that's it. And in the next video, I will explain, let me look at my cheat sheet. Parent exercise, of course. So all of this stuff is going to make sense in the classic way we group exercises for certain, for days, if you will. And one thing, very important thing I should have said at the beginning, that I'm not doing this for bodybuilding purposes like I used to do in the past. This is just for me to have a routine where I can do my exercises and have some sort of strength progression and a little bit more muscle. It's always, it's a plus, but I'm not going crazy. And this is going to make more sense. I probably should have left this, for when I explain progression schemes and reps and all this stuff and my whole volume, but we'll get into that. That's it. That's all I got. And in the next video, like I said, I'm just going to pair the exercise for you to show you, I can speak, to show you what days I'm going to use, which exercises, and how I pair them and why. All right, so I'll see you in the next video, and I'll leave you with a big hug. I'll hug you.